When a healthcare system as we know it is in crisis or goes through a change, how do we as civilians react and adapt? We care about trust, privacy and result, but are we willing to adapt for our health? In such circumstances, do we still rely on professionals to take care of us, or do we take the responsibility back into our own hands? To what extent are we willing to be responsible for our own health? Do we see non-governmental organisations popping up? Is there room for such behaviour? We'd heard that the people of Greece were faced with a failing healthcare system, so we went to Athens with these kinds of questions in mind. And what do you think about the organisation of the public healthcare system?
I don't know, because I listen, now I hear that the hospitals are in a very difficult position. I think I don't know about hospital, but I hear about it.
Okay. In what way are they in a difficult position? Why are they in a difficult position?
Because there are no money. There is no any help from government. So could you please read?
2,916 euros.
Okay, so imagine this one, a patient will take this for months and years. If he is unemployed and uninsured, how he will manage to do that? Okay, I'm not telling you about the expenses of chemotherapy and a hospital, etc. Just the medicines. Okay. If there is no money,
Yeah.
I think that the people who work in hospitals, they are very strong and they keep fighting. Yeah, I think that one. And doctors and nurses and all these, they are very, very good. Yeah. I think that it's only we have, only this I have.
There is a lot of problems. Unfortunately, there is a lot of problems in the Greek health system, and the main issue that have to resolve in the future is not the good organization of the hands of the people that you have into the system. It's not well organized. Unfortunately, in Greece, in most of the public sector, usually in public sector, there is no well organization of the people that they are working for the public sector.
We found a real will to help each other amongst the citizens of Athens. But can goodwill alone fill the gaps on the failing public health system? We visited a doctor in the public hospital. He didn't want to be filmed, but gave us an insight of the public health system.
We are trying to see how people deal with that.
Volunteer work. Usually we have volunteer work.
Are you doing any volunteering
all
work?
Doctors and the nurses.
We visited 4 high street pharmacies that had a lot to say about being the main contact point for the citizens.
But we try to reduce prices and help all elder people to give medicines with not much money.
The Salvation Army, who gave us a good overview of the situation in Greece.
You know, they need a strategy. It's good that people want to help, but they need to be structured. Organized.
And 2 self-organised, non-governmental hospitals. One anarchistic health centre called K-Vox, and one social centre called the Metropolitan Community Clinic. K-Vox weren't comfortable with being filmed, as we, in their eyes, belonged to an institute, but they showed us around the place anyway. The Metropolitan Community Clinic were very open to give us a full insight on how they work.
Every medicine that you see here is provided only from doctors or pharmacists. All the others just helping, organize the things.
So we saw that medicine and services were being donated from various people and places. We wondered if this affected the patient's trust in what they were receiving.
So we have a team that translates the medicine from the German brand name to the Greek brand name. So it starts with a P, so it has to go here. It's a little bit of a problem. It's psychological, I mean, they have some kind of faith in that box or the name. I've noticed a lot of doctors, they don't want to choose the foreign drugs because they feel that their patients might not trust them. And you know how trust plays a big role in the placebo,
How does trust and legitimacy play a role within the different places we visited? And do you think people use the pharmacy as a first contact of health?
In Greece, yeah. They prefer because it's free, okay, and they are know us many years.
Yeah,
We are
familiar.
familiar, yes. So it's easier to come here, to come to the hospital or to hospital.
Yeah.
And do you ever get people here that come here because it's the closest thing to them, but really they should be at a hospital or a doctor's?
Yes, because in Greece medicines are not with a recipe, a doctor, they don't need a doctor paper, so they come here for an advice or they take their medicine without going to a doctor.
And what kind of health services do you provide here? Is it just giving medicine, or do you do other things like injections? Or
yes, of course, we do injections, we take the pressure, and we give advices to people that can't afford to go to the doctor.
From small neighborhoods such as Exarchia, that volunteering teams, most of them from left parties of Greek society, they do a kind of volunteering work to protect and support this kind of people that they have problems.
And is most of the volunteer work kind of political? What's the relationship between politics and
I think that now it's not. They say that we are individually, we don't have any party with us, and we work alone. But our parties try to steal from their glory. They try to show that we are under this and this. I believe that this not happens today. And this has to do only with media. Media try to show all of this.
We don't like political parties or the government or anything. Our goal is to help people, and we like to prevent anyone that would like to gain something for personal use. The media, they come here asking for an opinion. They don't like what we are telling them, and they publish the article, the sound or anything. There were cases that our volunteers were in a studio, a television studio. They didn't like the answer and they cut it with the commercial.
We felt really welcome in the Metropolitan Community Clinic, but when we entered the Anarchistic Health Centre in Exarchia, we had a different welcoming and felt quite insecure and uncomfortable. They did not want to be filmed as we were part of an institution, a school, which they connected to the government. This shows how politically driven they are.
Our politics told us so many lies for things that even a small child could understand. And you know what's the problem? I think that all of this brings people to the borders, to left side border and to right side border. Which one side is fascist and the other side is anarchy maybe or something. There is no center. I think you don't record this.
This is something interesting that we thought was interesting in relation to healthcare. That's also like when we saw this small self-sufficient healthcare thing. That's why we were so interested, because it seems so related to politics, or it seems so related to extreme left or right when it came to trust.
I think that they want to take the glory, all of them. Maybe they are people from left parties, but they think to take the glory, just to say, we are the good and we protect all of these refugees. And from the other side, they're coming the right-wing party, and they say, okay, we protect Greeks. All for me, everybody, all of us, we are people.
Yeah.
Even if we are Greek, from Holland, from England, from Turkey, from all the countries of the world. When somebody is patient, even if he is your biggest enemy, you have to protect him. And then you are not a doctor. Then let's go to war, and we have war.
We wonder how a citizen with different political ideas to them, looking for medical care, would feel. So what is the meaning of trust in the context of healthcare systems? We got the impression it was intrinsically linked to the idea of legitimacy. How important is it to know your role and stick to it?
I agree, the smaller group is very organized, but they don't know what one is doing the other group. That's why overdo the same things the same, okay? Contact people who they have experience. Like yesterday, you see, there are people who they come alongside us, alongside other organizations, and say, I have these clothes, I have these things, can you help me? Or can I give to you and you contribute? We can give 10 toothpaste to someone. What are we going to do with them? First, they're going to throw it away, because only one. How are we going to carry? Why are you going to get 10 toothpastes and two?
Yeah.
In Lesbos, there are 52 organizations operating. Everybody, as I heard, they want to go to the sea to save people. Nobody wants to go to the storages to sort out clothes. Nobody wants money for people. That's why there is a very, very dysfunctional operation there. And organizations who they go in there and they fight one another about which is their territory. For goodness sake, we are to help people. It's not about my territory. It's how let's cooperate, like with the boats now, people. I think everything is down to cooperation and to network. Yeah. This situation is here to stay. Need a strategy. These people, they need professional people, psychologists or organizations like us, like the Doctors of the World, like Caritas, like other organizations, who they can help them and pick up the people.
And how does self-regulation contribute to legitimacy? We had a closer look at the organisation of the Metropolitan Community Hospital to find out. We saw that the organisation systems the community clinic were using were very effective. Interestingly though, they were the same organisation systems that the public hospital uses. So what makes them different? The way of filing, shelving, signing, filling in forms, keeping track of which doctor prescribed what to who. In the public hospital, they're not so effective in gaining trust, so how do they differ? We concluded that it was to do with the flat hierarchy system adopted in the community clinic. This, along with refusal of money, served to avoid corruption.
All these things that you see are donations.
We found out that the citizens' trust in the legitimacy of the non-governmental clinic was higher than the public hospital for this reason. This was to such an extent that the public hospital actually came to ask the community clinic for donations and supplies. The community clinic aims to set a leading example for public systems in crisis. With a no-money policy and reliance on volunteers, they have highlighted and overcome certain failures in the public system, such as corruption and organisation. They successfully challenged the traditional structures. Could they be the innovators of healthcare as we know it?